I set a goal for myself that before I was graduated, I had to have my feet under the desk somewhere. And I just started poking around because of that, and I realized the best way to get a foot in the door at a company is to apply for an internship. I've been fascinated by the FireFox project since I was about 8 years old. I got my start in programming through web design on there, and then I moved on into C++. When they reached out to me, I was fangirling pretty hard. They're pretty awesome. I've always really admired what they did. It's a team of super, super smart people who advocate for free and open internet, and they're just generally great about it. My internship was actually located in Portland, Oregon. They paid for my travel and my housing. I had never been to Oregon before. I'd never been to the West Coast. I'd never even seen a mountain before. So the idea of living within visual distance of 2 volcanoes was a little bit different, but I pretty soon got used to it, got to my grips, kind of fell in love with the city, and being invited back this June to move back to Portland, I'm very excited about that. The biggest challenge in my internship was probably the project itself. I was given a project that in a lot of ways didn't have a solution. We weren't completely sure how we were going to implement it. It wasn't a typical intern project of here's a plan that we can stick with. It was more of a we're going to try this and see what happens, which was also a lot of fun, and it very much represents the kind of work my team does opposed to other teams. My internship was pretty well structured with a lot of really brilliant people working over me who have worked on a lot of incredible things. For example, I spent a lot of time working with Jim Blandy, who co-wrote the book on Rust. So I worked with some very, very smart people, and because of that, I had an opportunity to learn a lot of things I wouldn't otherwise learn that made me super successful at what I was doing. Never tell yourself that a company is too good for you. Apply everywhere. Apply anywhere you want to be. Annoy them as much as you want about your application, because the more you contact them, the more they might be like, fine, we'll interview, and then they're going to find out you're awesome. So it's just important to put yourself out there and keep showing them what you're capable of. And eventually you will get that dream job that you really want. So I currently work remotely for Mozilla as a software engineer and a student worker. And working remotely at first can seem a little bit disorienting because you're in your home sometimes and whatnot, but the best advice I can give is set up an office space of some kind. Even if it's just a closed off part of your living room, you need a space that is specifically designed to be your office. And you can also research different kinds of focus methods. One method I use to focus is I set timers for 25 minutes. And I work nonstop for 25 minutes, then I take 5-minute breaks. So what I would like to do 5 years from now is if I ever got bored of what I was doing, I'd like to go maybe a bit lower level, go a bit closer to the hardware, get into more hardware engineering work than the software that I've been working on so far.